More power to him.
Yeah, Hanson.
Yeah.
Speaking of video stuff, you calling me lazy?
Oh.
When are you going to put the damn Hideo Kojima interview up on? That was recorded 3 years ago.
Oh Lord, here's a worm. Just oh my God, I want to go down this rabbit hole. Okay, so this is an old. So basically, Dan and I went to Kojima Productions headquarters for the Metal Gear Solid 5 cover story trip.
For Ground Zeroes originally, wasn't
it was kind of a split deal. We played through all of Ground Zeroes first and talked about, hey, this game's kind of short. And then
talked to a guy about horse tech for about an hour.
There's a lot of horse tech. Yeah. Julian Mercer around. Anyway, so Dan, I actually argued for Dan not to go on the trip, which is a big dick move in retrospect.
I didn't know you did that.
Because I didn't know it was you, but it's like, do we need 3? I was like, I think we can do this trip with 2 people.
I'm insulted.
Wow.
So then Dan went along and did absolutely nothing, except get so hungover that he made us almost miss a Suda interview.
That was rough.
It was rough.
That was very rough.
For this specific interview, we're like, okay, we have an hour or something with Hideo Kojima to talk about
for some
everything.
context, for these cover story trips, we have Hanson doing video stuff.
Yeah.
We have the cover story writer, which was Tim Turry in this instance, and then I was the online extra stuff guy. So Tim does all the real deal, hey, let's report on the game stuff. He does the series of interviews with Julian Mercer on, and I think of fun little things to put on the site.
So you're emphasizing the fact that again, you absolutely did not need to be on that trip.
Oh, not at all.
Okay,
no.
all right.
But I had a fun idea, which was Hideo Kojima obviously loves Hollywood action movies, the Die Hards, the Rocks, and all that. And so I wanted to talk to him and interview him about hey, let's just dork out about cool Hollywood action movies.
And I said, that seems like a great idea. We have limited time with Kojima. Let's do it, Dan. We'll give you this time. But since I'm so worried about just having to edit more and more video, and I'm on this monthly schedule of going on these cover story trips, and so it's I cannot do all video. We need to have something written. Let's make this interview talking about action movies with Kojima. Let's have that be a written thing. And so I was
and plus it's an interpreted interview, I assume, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to dub it or sub it.
Yeah.
And so I had the camera set up and I was tearing them down from the previous interview so Dan could do his interview. And then he's like, why don't you just leave the cameras up? Let's make this video. Just on the fly. It's like, okay.
Hideo Kojima, the
Wait, in front of everybody?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So I was like, well, let's go along with this then. So then I filmed it.
So you weren't battery.
No, nothing like that.
I would, but I'm out of space.
Oh,
I wish I was smarter. So then Dan sits down with Hideo Kojima and he's like, hey, Kojima, hey, buddy, give me your top 5 favorite action movies. Hollywood action movies.
You buddied him?
I didn't say buddy.
Well, it's going to get translated anyway, so the other person's going to be like, Kojima-san, with all due respect, what would be the...
And Dan's just scratching his armpit and farting on the other side of the table.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then Kojima's like, oh boy, action movies? And Dan's like, yeah, action movies. Kojima's like, okay. I mean, 2001 is my favorite movie. I'll have to think about this. And meanwhile, Dan's just sitting there for 4 minutes while Kojima's thinking. It's like, Dan, the clock is ticking. This is Kojima talking about Phantom Pain. We could be using this for a million other things.
I want
Do
to talk about The Rock and Predator.
So he's racking his brain to come up with action movies.
Yeah, and then he didn't come up with anything.
And then watching the gears turn.
And I'm screaming at Dan, broaden it out. Leave the action word behind. Just talk about movies in general. Just get something.
Dan.
And then ended up being just a big fart in the wind.
It's nothing, but you have the footage and keep saying you'll put it up, and I want to see that.
I know. All right, at some point I'll get it to you. But remember, originally on that trip, because the pitch to us from Konami was Kojima likes to get weird with videos.
Yes.
So think of the weirdest thing that you'd want to do with Hideo Kojima, which is a tall order.
But then it kind of went weird and went nowhere.
Well, that's ultimately. But the thing we pitched was, we think it'd be funny to bring a bunch of GoPros and strap it to our heads and play hide and go seek in a Japanese park.
Well, you remember the title? It was Hideo and Seek.
Of course,
that was the name of the video. That's not bad. That's not bad.
And remember, Kojima-san was game, so we packed up all the GoPros and the Call of Duty Ghost head-mounted cameras and lugged them over to Japan. And then it's like, we don't have time, sir.
Oh, really?
It's a real bummer.
That trip
because we had to take time watching Kojima think because Dan wouldn't change the topic of the interview.
Predator.
Yeah, exactly. That's all Dan wanted.
Oh, you just wanted to lead him into
I wanted him
Predator.
to dork out more, but he didn't even say names of cool movies.
To be absolutely fair to Kojima-san, he was probably going through a lot during that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
There was probably some other things on his mind.
Oh, yeah.
Is he a cool dude?
It was weird.
They were-
No, like your dude thing.
Yeah, is he a cool dude?
Not in the traditional cool dude, solid snake, Snake Plissken type of way.
Gotcha.
He's an auteur.
Okay.
I think auteur is the way you describe it. He's an intelligista. A tour.
Where are you going?
Are those
with
two
this?
words you can put together?
I'd say he's cool in
That's
the
a word,
way
right?
that you would say like a John McTiernan is cool.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
someone who makes the cool shit,
Right.
but is not necessarily exude
The
cool
cool shit,
themselves.
yeah.
But when Mr. McTiernan like walks into a room, I don't think everyone is just on pins and needles before, because it was like the president's walking into this room.
When Kojima walked in?
Yeah,
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
like they had a chair for him to
Yeah.
do the interview from, and then as he was walking in, like seconds before, his assistant just freaked out, like, "We need a more comfortable chair," and like swapped the chair out
that's
to get him the
great.
coziest chair
Yeah.
possible. And it's just the sense of awe when he enters.
Did he have the
It's
leather jacket?
I don't remember what he was. We got a
Sunglasses?
picture.
shades? He actually
Yeah.
walked in slow motion. It was very
He was wearing the
confusing.
shades from Ground Zeroes where it zooms in on like Master Miller's glasses and it's
Yeah.
like, this is the brand of glasses. He was wearing those glasses.
course he was.
So he put his own glasses in the game.
I think that gravitas for me is always going to be absent whenever I encounter him, because I've seen him drunk at Sony E3 parties before, and I'm just like, yeah, no, he's a dude. Like he's a dude who makes games people really love, but he's a guy.
I've seen people freak out over him.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I was at a party at Comic-Con. It was like an Assassin's Creed thing or something, and these like a half a dozen guys found out he was gonna like be at the party, and they were all just like, "Oh my god," looking at themselves, like making sure they looked okay. I was like, "It's gonna be okay, you guys."
Breathing
Don't worry
into their
about it.
hands.
Don't worry about it.
What do you say though?
You don't really say anything
Yeah.
because I don't know. They were like, "I can't wait to stare at him when he gets in here." I don't know what you
And
do.
this is why Hideo Kojima does not go to a lot of
yeah,
parties.
I guess so. And why he wears sunglasses?
This is
all
why
the
he
time.
left.
this is why he ruined. All right, let's do it.
Before we launch into the show,
Yeah.
maybe we should take a break.
Sure.